Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard and weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it is indeed a good football morning to everybody from the Concrete Gang every Sunday morning on Community Radio 3CR. We've hit the finals. We're all excited. Well, most of you are excited. Melbourne didn't do too well. Good morning, Gorrilla.
Good morning, Warren. Good morning, listeners. Well, of course, I'm up and about. The old Bombers are back in town. Just a couple of hiccups along the way. Fell over a couple of syringes and a couple of lacquer bands and a few, But anyway, it doesn't matter. We're back laughing, back in the finals. Better than a few clubs I know, especially those blue baggers. Oh, they're down the bottom again. I love it.
Even North Melbourne finished in front of them.
Yeah, I don't mind North Melbourne, but the blue baggers. I had a phone call this morning. They're all down and out. I said, anyway, we'll be barring for the Swans. I said, you can barrack for your light, mate. Your team's not there. So as long as you're there, you got a chance. But I must admit, the old, what is it, GWS? No, is it GWS?
Yeah, GWS.
They were pretty ordinary.
Thursday night over in Adelaide.
Very ordinary. Just goes to prove they're big raps from, but, I mean, finals is different football. Anyone can win. Yes,
indeed, and they actually thumped them.
I'm going to have a bit of a go at the Bombers. I think they were 460 the other night. I'm going to see what they are today. I might have a little bit of a lash at them. That might be my tip for the week. Don't go too hard, though.
Indeed. It's footy season coming to an end, but footy final season's almost a season on its own. And during the week, Footy Colours Day was held at the Union office, as it was around a whole lot of places, raising money for kids with cancer. And it was a big event at the Union office because we had some great past players present.
Yeah?
Yes.
Who was
indeed. There? Rhys Jones. He can't help himself, can he? He's always putting himself around.
Is that the best you could do, Rhys Jones?
No. Tony Liberatore.
Oh, yeah, Libber, yeah.
And Dougie.
Dougie was there. Dougie Hawkins, well, that's a great form.
The Dougster was there. And
what about Pikey, no?
Didn't front.
Didn't front?
Didn't front.
Done Sam Kekovich?
Claimed to have some problems on his job.
Oh, please.
So, cheerio to Martin Pike, one of the delegates, and a great footballer in his time.
How many he was in?
He's got
four
grand final medals round his neck, and I tell you what, it's a big neck.
Jeez, I'm glad you said that, not me.
No, he's a great fella.
Don't start nothing that we can't finish, mate.
No, he's a great fella and a great footballer. Yeah. Now, we should, however, mention we've got a little early scallywag nomination because the winner of the best dressed, you had to wear your footy colours and come along And a certain party came along with his hair cut and with tattoos on his neck and his arms. He came along as Dusty Martin, full Richmond gear, jumper, shorts, the lot, even a pair of football boots.
Did he bring his dad?
No, he didn't bring his dad, and he doesn't come from New Zealand. However, Clancy, mate, you may have won the best dressed, but you've got to be able to wash the tattoos off later. And unfortunately, I think they're going to take a little bit. Like, it might even take a skin graft by the time he gets them off, especially the ones on his neck. So Clancy Dobbin is an early nominee for Scallywag of the Week for basically...
Obviously, never win sale of the century, old Clancy, eh?
Anyway, some money was raised, great stuff, and the staff at the union office did themselves a treat, and it was a good morning for fundraising.
That's what it's all about, mate, a bit of money for the kids for cancer. So
Indeed it is.
It's a great effort from the staff.
Great effort from the staff. Now, we should just give an update on what's happening. There was a lot of talk about how we all had to be code compliant and all the rest of it.
Geez, what happened with that?
It turned into a bit of a fizzer. Eh? Because despite the expectations of the Minister, Michaela Cash and Nigel Hadgkiss and all these other people running around making big threats and standing over people, you've actually got to be tendering for work to actually have a problem. And if you're not tendering for federal government work, then really, why do you care? And an awful lot of people have finally worked out they don't really care. The ones that do care, the ones that need to be code compliant because they actually tender for federal government work or tender as major subcontractors to builders who are doing federal government work, they are being facilitated with a code compliant agreement. There are obviously some changes that unfortunately need to be made, but there's a price on that, and there's a process for that, and we are going through that process, and there have been a number of companies, not very many, less than half a dozen in fact, who needed to get code compliant because they are in the process of tendering for government work. They've become code compliant, and I'm presuming that there will be some more coming through the door looking to reach an agreement with the union to vary their existing EBAs, and we will facilitate that. But it's not a big deal, and there ain't too many changes. But anyway, despite the huff and the puff, we're getting on with business. But if your boss does try and tell you, and you know or suspect he's really not tendering government work, that he needs a code-compliant agreement, he needs to terminate his existing agreement, and all the rest of it, get on the phone to the union, because there's a lot of shit being talked out there by some people who are trying to take advantage of confusion, and ACI is one of them. We know, we've heard all the shit, and we'll deal with that in due course. So they're another nomination for Scallywag.
I've got to say, I was getting out and around during the week out to some of the shitbox outfits out in the suburbs, and the likes of McKinnon and all those sort of suburbs with the likes of Stella and Element 5 and a few other shitbox outfits. And it's very disturbing to see that they're using young blokes driving Nelly-Max or apparently doing the pegging. But when I say peggies, they're doing 300 jobs, not just the pegging and all that. But I ran on a job where they had this young bloke, and he's a nice young bloke. I'm not going to hang him. He's a lovely bloke. But he was running the job. I reckon if he's not 24, I'll bear me ass. So he was a site manager. He was a health and safety. He was the first aider, the peggy, traffic management. This bloke was unbelievable. I mean,
doing lots of things, but doing none of them well.
Yeah, well, look, he was a nice young bloke, and fair play to him. I'm not going to mention his name because I'd say a potential member, but anyway. But it does upset me. I expect that sort of out there, but one thing I don't expect is certain EBA jobs, young blokes doing pegging or doing lift driving jobs or the stop-go signs, because we've got a lot of members out there that are out of work, the blokes who have done the hard yards. I know I go on about this, but unfortunately I'll keep going on about it. because we've got a lot of old blokes that can't get jobs, and people have done all the hard yards for the union, done the battles, fought the fight. How do you say that, brother? Fight the fight.
Struggle.
Thanks, mate. They're sitting at home not working, and also tying steel and concrete, and they probably can't do the hard work anymore. So we've got to make sure we look after them, and looking after them is making sure we haven't got 18-year-olds driving LMX and doing the stop go or etc. Or the Peggy's job. So. And so if you're out there working on a job and you reckon you've got an opportunity to get an old bloke a job, ring the union, because we've got plenty of blokes looking for jobs.
That's indeed the case. And I just might mention this issue of what's going on in the suburbs and so on, all these people that are just coming in from anywhere, just basically trying to grab as much money as they can in as short a time as possible. I was talking to a concreter this week, and he comes from rural Victoria, and he was bemoaning the fact that everything was getting ripped off and builders are just going for the lowest price, and he's owed money, his retention from bloody 18 months ago after the job was finished, and just a few stories like that. But his classic line was, why the hell do the MBA and the bosses generally not want to get back to the level playing field we used to have? Why are we getting on so up, carried away with getting codes and bloody ABCCs and all the rest of it, because it's just stuff in the industry? And he's only a small bloke. He probably only employs about 8 blokes.
He's worked it out.
And he's worked it out that none of it's done him any good. All it's been is an option that builders now have to rip off subbies even more than they have been in the last 10 years. He said there was a time he can remember, probably about 15 years ago, when there was a level playing field. The NBA, nearly all the builders kept that going with the union, and everyone made a quit.
Exactly.
Politicians got in the way, as he said to me. Politicians get in the way and then stuff it all up, and everyone's going broke.
Which will bring us to the next track by Kevin Borich, because the track's called I'm Going Somewhere, which they are, but the NBA's going nowhere.
Chase all kinds of girls. It's good when you do it all right. It feels much better flying high as a kite. They say my roots go deep into earth. I can't remember a thing at birth, but my mama told me that I was there. She said, honey, you look sweet without hair. Now you can call me lazy, maybe I'm crazy. This is just looking hazy, but I'm going somewhere. Yeah, you can call me lazy.
You don't fight, you lose. Concrete gangs, here to stay. You don't fight, you lose. Stand to struggle, stand to win.
Whatever it takes, whatever the stakes. Let's go. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. We're going somewhere. We're going somewhere.
There it was, Kevin Borich, Express with I'm Going Somewhere. That special cheerio out to the old Drew boy. He's a big Kevin Borich fan.
Yes, indeed.
He loved that. Old Drew, baby. Yeah, mate. That's for you.
Rightio. Now,
Hey, I want to throw something in too, if I can, young Warren. Now,
yes.
me beloved Port Melbourne Football Club, they launched their finals campaign last week at Box Hill. They played well, but not well enough. They got beaten by 2 goals, which is pretty disappointing because I think they should have won. Although I got there a bit late. I got a massive blue. I had a blue with the gateman there. He reckons I parked me car across the gate. I said I've made a career out of doing that. And he goes, I go, mate.
Did he ring Nigel Hatchkis?
He goes, I said, there's 8 spots inside there, mate. Let me park in there. He goes, there for the players. I said, mate, if they're not here now, 5 minutes before the game, they're not coming, you idiot. You know, he's going to, anyway. But the Borough, it's lost by 2 goals. Very disappointing, to be honest, because I think they should have won. They were level halfway through the last quarter. But it's not all over yet. It's back on this week. The Borough's playing Footscray down at the Borough on Sunday at 2:30, I think it is. So get down there and support the local standalone club because for you people that don't know, Port Melbourne's a standalone. We're not affiliated with any AFL clubs. And we're playing Footscray, and they've got the 2 Boyds playing in their team. You know, the full forward and the guy's just retired, the other Boyd, which are great players. But don't worry about that. I still reckon Port's a big chance of beating them. But a bit of support goes a long way, so it'd be great to see all the people
down
out there.
this afternoon.
This afternoon, yeah, that's right. Yeah, this Arvo. Love to see everyone down there.
Righto. Now, we are probably needing to talk about a few people. There is plenty of issues around the town, and unfortunately there seems to be a tendency now to basically, despite all this stuff about the code getting sorted out and all the rest of it, you turn up on a job, it's back to the old tactics, ring up Nigel, and we're having visits everywhere because the new penalties are applying, and of course Nigel wants to get some scalps. So
he needs some money to keep up his habits, like quaffing red wine in the business class when he's flying about and all that, mate. Someone's got to pay for that, don't they?
That's right. Not just the taxpayers. Anyway, so Uncle Nige has been busy around the place, and there's a few people that need to get mentioned. Watpac seem to be having lots of visits. I'm not saying it's their initiation of the inspections, but they're certainly basically not telling the whole truth when people are coming to the job. There was a job where ABCC were coming to do an occupational health and safety audit. Well, sorry, that's shit. They don't do health and safety.
They should be investigated for sacking 3 old Peggies too.
That's right.
Sacking 3 of the old soldiers. Watpac sacked them. You know, I mean, the 2, we know where they are, who's behind it. Very ordinary, sacking 3 old battlers, doing the pegging job, you know.
Yes, indeed. And then FDC, Ronan Pringle, on they come onto the job, and all the grief that follows, and in the end they try sacking people because blokes had a health and safety meeting.
No.
Oh, Ronan.
Well, that's why we played that song for Ronan. I'm going nowhere.
Yes. That's right, Ronan. You're going nowhere. And there's been plenty of other bullshit going on around the place. Now, the union has a very simple policy. The ABCC walk onto the job. We ain't going to sit there and cop them bloody investigating people. Basically, they come, we don't. Righto. Now, we should also mention that there is some other stuff going on in terms of health and safety, and guess who needs to have a special touch-up? Our good friends from Hanson and Yunkin.
Oh, you're joking, aren't you?
Yeah, Hanson
the asbestos
Yunkin.
kings.
The asbestos kings, and they are refusing to hand over information up at the Ioneer Hospital yet again.
What?
Yeah, yet again. They just can't help themselves.
Mate, they were out at Monash Uni, asbestos everywhere, no notifications, not ringing WorkSafe, not ringing us to make sure our members are being, right or been exposed to asbestos. That was at Monash Uni out at Clayton. Then there was Monash Uni at Caulfield, same thing, asbestos again, not going for the right procedures. Mate, and not to mention the iron here, that was just tragic what happened there, wasn't it?
Yep. And it's continuing. Even though now that they've moved people out of the floors that are being cleared and put them down at the old Peter Mac in East Melbourne, even though they've finally done something to stop the exposure of patients, staff and visitors, there is still a whole lot going on. That building is rotten from top to bottom, and really, Hanson and Yuncken should be carrying out their obligations because there's a lot of people getting put at risk. Anyway, asbestos is going to continue to be an issue in this country for probably the next 30 years because all that stuff that was put into buildings which are now coming up towards the point where they're either going to be demolished or they're going to be fully renovated. That means all that stuff's going to be exposed again. The amount of asbestos that is floating around in existing buildings. Sure, there's a problem with some Chinese imports which are bringing new lots of asbestos into the country, but the biggest problem, overwhelmingly the biggest problem right round the place, is asbestos in existing buildings. And as renos take place, as demolition takes place, the amount of exposure is extraordinary. And that's not to mention what happens in the domestic field where people in their own homes are getting exposed. But you're going to be hearing a lot more of it because it's going to become a huge issue again.
Not that it isn't now.
That's right. Righto, we might go to some scallywags.
Who we got there, Warren?
Well, I'd say Ronan Pringle deserves a whack.
Oh, Ronan, he's got a long history, Ronan.
H&Y deserve a whack.
Mate.
Element 5 put their amenities on the footpath. Hey,
The
put their
perennials.
amenities on the footpath. Yeah, good on you.
Well, can I tell the story about what? I'll tell you the story about in my area. And I go on the job there. The fridge was in the middle of the job, not in the shed.
Yeah.
And I went to the shed, and the milk was on the bench with the air conditioner going. That's what was keeping. That was keeping the milk cold. That's what you're up against there, mate.
Yep.
That's what they like, Element 5. That's what you get. That's what you pay for when you want to deal with Element 5. So when you buy your Element 5 units, that's what you're up against.
That's right.
Shit carters.
And unfortunately, their arrogance is going to go on and on and on. But anyway, never mind. Element 5, you got nominated yet again. ACI for trying to play around with their agreement. The meeting turned into a bit of a flop, and now they're going to try and have another meeting to terminate their agreement. So the boys on the jobs know damn well what's going on. They're trying to introduce cut price rates and cut price
The boys would want to vote
conditions.
for that, wouldn't they?
Oh, yeah. They're trying to stooge them. Never mind. Now,
All right.
we've also got Wattpac, who've got a mention on the way through, and then CPB. CPB are a offshoot of the old Leighton's empire, and Chompers, Vandenberg. He's out there trying to do dirty deals with the AWU, and let's just say, state government job, good luck.
I'm going for Hanson Yuncken, not for the reasons you said, but those second of those three old Peggies, mate, that was a disgrace.
That was Wattpac.
Oh, it was too. Can't get it out of my head.
Righto.
Well, we got them in there, haven't we?
Yep.
Well, that's who I'm going for. Wattpac, sorry.
We're going for Wattpac.
I was just
Okay.
trying to blame Hanson Yuncken for it, you know.
Oh, right. Righto. So we're going to go for Wattpac for second on the Peggies.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go for Ronan Pringle for Suki Lala.
All right.
Because
That's
he
good
sooked
thinking.
up big time, tried to blame everybody else and had to wear it.
All right.
Righto.
And we've got some Cheerios.
We've got some Cheerios. We've got 2 Cheerios.
We've got a bit of a sad one first. We've got old Crown Lager Ray from Port Melbourne. He's a bit of a identity down in Port Melbourne, the old Crown Lager. I think he was a sort of a shiny ass. He worked in the
corporate area.
The corporate area, but it was a great bloke, old Ray, and he's fell off the perch. So to Ray, I know he's got no family left, but all the people in Port, he's very well liked, and we're going to have a send-off for him shortly. And, of course, Spider-Man, my old mate, the Spider-Man, whose alias name's George. I've heard he's in the soccer team now.
Yep.
They call him Pele. I reckon they should be calling him Pele now, Spider-Man. So good on you, mate. Keep your chin up and keep that beautiful smile and go, and we'll be glad to catch up as soon as we can.
Indeed. Now, is there anything else we need to announce?
No.
No.
I think we just go out the same old way.
We'll go out the same old way. Dare to struggle.
Dare to win.
If you don't fight,
you lose.
Good morning from the Concrete Gang. And
we'll go at the track with by Sid Rumper and Old Ben, and this is Breaking Me Balls.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.